What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and as always, I appreciate all the love and support, man. And today in this video, we're gonna talk about a topic while we're waiting for Prime to get shipped to the shop that's gonna go ahead and fix it and replace the motor and all that good stuff. That's gonna be a totally separate video, but while we're waiting on that, I figured I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this topic that has been brought up to me obviously for quite some time now. The years that I've had the car, you know, I've always had that question from why did I purchase the V6, why didn't I get a V8, why did I put all these mods in the car and not do it all in the V8? I could have had way more power. So in today's video, we're gonna get straight to it, and we're gonna go over my top 5 reasons why you should purchase a V6 Camaro over a V8. Let's get to it. I'm just gonna go off of the V6 Camaro versus the V8 Camaro. So in this video, it's gonna be nothing but the V6 on why you should purchase it. But right off the top, if you don't know the difference, the V8 Camaro, especially the newer 6 gens, is at 335 horsepower. It's with the 1LE track. I went with the highest model trim level 1LE package that they put on the V6 Camaro. It does 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds, 335 horsepower at 6,800 RPMs, and I believe it's doing 13.8 seconds quarter mile. Now that's completely stock, which isn't bad at all, because I remember back in the day, if you would have talked about the old school IROC Zs and stuff like that from back in the day, like in the early 2000s and everything, I mean, those numbers are pretty much what they were doing back then in the V8, and they're doing them now in the V6. Obviously what that means is if they're doing those kind of numbers in a V6, of course the V8 is doing its own thing, and they're running like 9-second quarter miles and all, well, 9.5 seconds, like the Demon, and the Copo's running 8 seconds, Camaro and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother story. So 335 horsepower, 6,800 RPM, 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds, quarter mile 13.8 seconds, and the weight ratio on that car is about 3,300 to about 3,600 pounds, depending on which trim level that you select, from the regular base model trim level to the highest model that they make. Reason number 1, it's less expensive depending on the trim level. It can go anywhere. You can have savings anywhere from $10,000 to about $25,000, and I'm talking about the SS trim level. We won't even get into the ZL1 because that's like $25,000 opposed to compared to $65,000, $70,000 depending on which model that you get. If you're getting the top of the line ZL1 1LE fully loaded and track edition and all that good stuff. I mean, even the other ZL1, I don't call it a regular ZL1 because it's got different suspension. It's made for a different type of driving. So with the V6, you can pick it up for about $25,000, and in the SS, you can go all the way up to like the 1LE edition and pick those up for like $50,000. So that's about a $15,000 difference. So right there alone, you can see how much of a window there is as far as your budget goes. So if you're gonna start out with $25,000, you're gonna get about 335 horsepower. If you're gonna go all the way up to $50,000, I mean, it doesn't have to be at $50,000. You can get a 1SS, just a base model SS for like $35,000 nowadays, $32,000. I'm talking like brand new, 0 miles on the thing. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, insurance will be less expensive for the V6 Camaro as opposed to the V8. So if you're on a budget, and you know you just can't afford to be spending like $200 to $250 a month on just insurance alone. My Kia Optima, it was $250. Actually, my Camaro, when I leased it, was $270 a month, and then when I bought out the lease, it went up to $310. So you're telling me like another 60, 70 bucks? That's just insurance. I could have bought another car, like a whole nother car, 0 miles. You got to make sure you put that into factor, and that's another reason why you should buy a V6 Camaro. Reason number 3, maintenance will be less expensive on a V6 as opposed to a V8, because the V8 will have the Brembo brakes, the bells and whistles and all that good stuff. And if you don't know anything about Brembo brakes, they're obviously going to have better stopping power than the regular standard V6 brakes, but at the same time they're going to be more expensive to change the rotors and the pads and all that other stuff. So maintenance on those, I mean, I know I'm sticking to the SS, but you can go all the way up to the ZL1, and the ZL1 is like $2,500 to change the brake pads, rotors, and all that stuff, depending where you go. I do know a person where the dealership here in Arizona tried to tell her $4,000 to replace them, so that's just out of this world. But I get it because they're, you know, high performance brakes and all that good stuff, and you need it for that car. So for the V6, you don't need to do any of that. So reason number 4, MPG is going to be night and day between the V6 Camaro and the V8. In my V6, with all my modifications that I have, with the supercharger and everything that I've done to the car, yes, I'm at 511 horsepower right now, 428 to the wheels, 511 crank, 13 pounds of boost. I still didn't put E85 in there yet, and I didn't throw a cam. So I'm pretty sure that if I did just the E85 alone, we can get really close to about 480. I mean, I'm sure we can squeeze 500, but I don't want to push that. But either way, not to say I'm gonna do that. Don't think I was gonna do that. But either way, I mean, you never know. But either way, you know, in my car, I can get 25 in the city, 24. If I'm not stepping on it, or if I'm not abusing the motor, I'm just driving it like regular, keeping the RPMs around 1500, 2000 while you're cruising. And the best time to get the best MPG I found is when you're driving around 45 miles an hour, about 40, 45. You're in gear. Your RPM is not high. The motor is just pretty much coasting. So that I feel like is going to be a big saver. And then reason number 5. Why I feel like you should get a V6 over a V8 is because the motor will last longer. And the reason why I say the motor will last longer, because if you're driving a V6 Camaro, chances are a lot of the times, unless people know you've modified your car, like modified, chances are nobody's gonna try to race you. You know, they got that motto of the V6 V8 deal. And you know, I still don't understand why that keeps going till this day, because the Ford GT is a V6 and that's a $500,000 ticket right there. But we're not even gonna get into all of that. That's a whole nother story. Or the GTR, either way. So yeah, the V6, your motor will last longer because chances are you're not gonna be racing it like that. Chances are a lot of the times, about 98% of the V6 owners don't take their car to the track. They don't quarter mile their car. You know, maybe on the 1LE edition, they'll take it around the track, you know, hitting corners, which that's built and designed for that, which is fine. Nobody's gonna judge that car when you take that car to that kind of a track, because it's literally built like that from factory. But if you're in a base model V6 and you take that to the track, you know, it is what it is. People look at it a little bit different because they know it doesn't have that kind of power for you to be running down the strip to see if you're gonna be breaking anybody's numbers. But some people do that either way, just to see what the car will do, to have some fun with it. So you gotta respect each his own. That's another reason why I say your motor will last longer, because number 1, nobody will try to race you, and at the same time, you're probably, I don't wanna say nobody, but a lot of the times people won't try to race you. And then you're probably not gonna be taking it to the track like that. There's a handful of V6s that I know out there that are doing that, and to be honest with you, all of them are boosted. Every single one of them. They're either twin turbo or they're supercharged or whatever the case may be. I know there's a V6 Camaro right now doing 800 to the crank. You know, so I mean, it doesn't matter nowadays what it is, but I'm just trying to give you the reasons, on my top 5 reasons on why you should purchase a V6, because of the savings. Pretty much the point of the video is because of your budget. At the end of the day, you gotta pay to play. Simple as that. If you got a little bit deeper pockets where you can invest a little bit more in your purchase, you're gonna get a little bit more horsepower, and you're gonna have a lot more to go ahead and up your gains on your horsepower as opposed to the V6. V6 you can do it as well, but there's a lot more work that needs to be done on the V6 to get it to that point. The V8, a lot of the times they'll just have a bolt-on kit and you'll easily get 550 to the wheels. So, and that's pretty quick. And you're talking, when I first got my car, this is not even 335 horsepower stock. This was 323 horsepower stock, which I know it's not night and day, but back then I was only 256 to the wheels. And then when I boosted and did everything, now I'm 428 to the wheels with an LSD rear end and all this other stuff. So you can make it happen. But those are my top 5 reasons why you should purchase a V6 Camaro and not a V8. If you feel like your budget is where it's at, and that's all you can afford at the time, you want to get some skin in the game, get used to owning a Camaro, and then learn all the bells and whistles, because you can have the RS package and all that stuff, you know, added on afterwards, or like I did, or you can get a good deal, get lucky, get a good deal, and have the kit already on there, so, or the package already on there. So that way you can learn how to use the MyLink, learn how to drive the car with all the blind spots and everything that it has. And like I said, you got some skin in the game, and you can definitely make these cars look really good, and you're still not nowhere near as what you would be spending on a V8. So bottom line comes down to your budget, to your pocket. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think, your thoughts on if you should purchase a V6 or a V8. I know commuting back and forth, you know, to work and school and everything like that with that MPG is night and day. I know I always laugh when my friends and I, we take our road trips and stuff like that, and I can literally pull it off where I get really close, where I might be able to just drive all the way to California, you know, without putting any gas in the car and refilling. But with them, yeah, they gotta stop halfway through. So either way, man, if it's your first time on my page, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up. That really helps out the channel. And on the next video, we're gonna talk about why you shouldn't buy a V6. In the meantime, between time, A Dilla, Priminator, out. Peace.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.